world doesn't want to know.
Yeah, it's just the obsession of it.
I mean, I just read some crime statistics though about African Americans, and it wasn't pretty. X is full of this type of data analytics that is not flattering, and it is statistically significant, and the averages do indicate, that there's a black on black crime epidemic, and it's part, the community or the lifestyle.
Yeah, so crime is based on proximity, man. So if you got a neighborhood in Arkansas that's mostly white trailer trash, they're gonna be killing each other. If you got cities where it's a lot of proximity when it comes to these crimes and these shootouts and these robberies and all this stuff. So, it does make sense for the color on color crime, but it still doesn't make sense because it's just proximity.
Yeah, but it's not all proximity.
Well, hold on. It's also not really limited to race. So you could take like a neighborhood in Stockton, California. It's called Okieville. It's nothing but white people, right? Super high crime, very poor part of town. So uneducated, on drugs, poor, and there's an incredible amount of violence, and it's white on white. And so the characteristics that create the violence is being poor, being uneducated, and those two things, by the way, don't lead to violence. But if you have the drugs component and you have those three things going on, it really doesn't matter what the background of the people are. That's going to spell doom for any community.
Can I push back on that? Like, can I argue with that real quick with the poor and education part of you?
You can, but hopefully you understood that it's the poor and uneducated together alone without the drugs doesn't necessarily mean it's a problem. But if you have the drugs to have those two things, that's where you're going to get the problems.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I won't.
Yeah, there's plenty of areas that are poor and uneducated and get along just fine, but usually because they center their community around simple ideas. Like you might find like a town that's like, they might be poor and uneducated, but they love Jesus, and they go down to the church, and they're obsessed with that, and they've rejected drugs because of it, and those people get along pretty well.
I lived in this town called like Quakertown in Pennsylvania, population like 3,000, right? Little town. And there's a lot of Amish people there. They don't go to school. Well, they kind of, but it's not like, our idea of school. But they don't have that type of education. They don't know how to, do what we do, but they're living off the land, living their best lives. And so I agree with that. And I love that there's some cities and states where they don't have certain taxes. They don't have certain, pay rates. A lot of people just live off the land, and, I appreciate that.
There's Jazz talking about the chat. I like people that do their little driveways. Seeking comfort from known racism. Ha ha ha. And then the person leaves. What's going on? They don't want to have a dialogue.
No, it's like when a dog takes a piss on a tree and just, marks their spot. Oh, Jazz was talking about Christy not being black, so I guess she was saying Christy's finding comfort in us racist.
Okay.
I took a DNA test and I have like 2% sub-Saharan African, so let's fucking go.
By the way, nobody gets a test back with less than 1%. So.
Yeah. But I'm still, damn, Roger. Fucking totally rained on my grave.
Pockets, I don't think many people on this app remember the rooms that you used to do where you would loan mod it and you would just sit there and talk. Like, it was like, I don't know if you were high or what the deal was, but those rooms were fucking huge. And I'd tap into those and I'm just like, who is this person? Like, she's got to be famous. Like, everybody's in this room just listening to, like, you would go on these rants for hell long. And I would just be like, she's got to be famous. Everybody's just, like, captivated by this. And then after I got the, like, I realized, like, oh, okay, like, if you open a room and there's, you know, people will pile in, you can just talk about anything and they just stay. It's amazing. And so, but your journey on this app has probably been one of the most interesting. It's, people don't talk about it anymore, but you were consistently one of the biggest rooms on this app, consistently, like, especially late at night, and talking about nothing really, in my opinion. But you also had this, like, group of, like, people that were, like, left of center originally, and then I don't know what happened. I didn't follow the drama, but something happened, and then all of a sudden you started appearing in, like conservative clubhouse, quote unquote, and then it was like they embraced you for a minute, and then all of a sudden they do what they do. They get bored, they throw people out. And, like, now you've gotten to this thing where you just kind of hop around, join conversations and whatnot. But your journey, I think, has been one of the more interesting ones on this app.
I'm gonna be honest. I am so uneducated with politics and the left and the right. So when I was, like, hopping around trying to figure my shit out, I'm like, both these sides suck. Like, they both just suck. Like, they both are just. You know, it was the clique cult type thing that I just can't vibe with. So I just bounce around. I don't try to identify with the political ideology because I don't know shit about it. All I know is I got bills to pay, got taxes to pay, and I got food to eat. So it's just, you know, I feel like people are so obsessed with their political ideology that they literally base their entire lives off of it. And I don't know, man. So I was just running my own shit. Not just ranting about how everyone's stupid. And I feel like people agreed to that, which I like.
I even remember the house. It was called In the Pocket.
Yeah, I think it was Stay in Pocket, or was it just In Pocket? I forgot.
I'm pretty sure the club was In the Pocket. You're in the pocket. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember when I was on the dark side, and I was used as, like, the racial token. It was fucking awesome. Like, I was used as, like, that white girl that would be on stage and piss everybody off. It was good. It was fun.
I remember having a 2-hour debate with you in a hotel room in St. Louis, and then finally at the very end I got you to admit, fine, yes, it's all political.
Yeah, dude. That's probably a lie. Not in real life. He was in a hotel room.
Yeah, not in real life.
I was in a room.
I was at work in a hotel having a debate with Pockets. And I think it was, like, over your gender study degree or something to do with trans. I can't remember what it was, but don't you have, like, some kind of doctorate or some master's in, you know?
No, I'm a CNA and LVN, but I'm not an RN. I stopped doing nursing when COVID happened. Went into sales because that shit'll never die. But yeah, I'm an LVN.
Got it.
It was just some fucking, like.
Okay, wait. I got Elon Musk on the fishing hook. You want to hear him? Listen to this.
That would be so funny.
We kind of do need some kind of geofencing at this point.
No, we don't.
Just the scam part. I mean, have you checked the numbers of all the scams? It's, I think.
Honestly, I have a very unpopular opinion. If you're stupid enough to fall for a scam, you deserve it.
We're talking about boomers.
Okay, never mind. It's just, see, you know, it's brutal to listen
That
to.
was a bar. That was a bar. If you're stupid enough to fall for a scam, you deserve it.
when you hear Elon Musk laughing, I think that's the best way to confirm that Adrian Dittman is Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is just from Green Bay. I don't know. He's not from here.
Who do you think has a better laugh, Elon Musk or Monica?
Monica.
Some money from me, and I was
Listen,
like,
I
you
don't
know
care what
what?
anyone says.
This was
Monica
so
has
clever.
one-liners, her punchlines, dude. That, yeah, you can't top that.
She definitely has her place in chillism. You know, I go in there quite regularly, and she's modded quite regularly.
Monica has a place everywhere. She's been on this app since a little bit after I was.
I got a place for it.
Mm. Oh, so you're like a 10, man. You know what's crazy? People think Monica came up with her name with a K, but she didn't. Me and someone held the room and put Monica in the title. That room was huge, and so she put it as her name and stuck with it. People think she came up with it, but no, I didn't.
Her name now, Scarlet No K. It's fucking hilarious. John, do you think it's amazing that you've managed to hang out in these spaces and do nothing to violate the rules and hang out, but Rich, the guy that advocated for you to come into this space, he's found a way to get himself kicked out of the room by not abiding by the rules. If you talk to him in the back channel, you should point out the irony of this. Whatever happened to Jazzy, Matt? Is she still part of the Ali cult? I always thought that was kind of a weird one.
Ollie Alexander? Oh my god, what is throwback?
Yeah, he peeled Jazzy and Ashley. It's very. He basically took two of the most naive people from the app and put them on his team. And if you've looked at like the stuff that he's gotten himself in trouble with, he's basically a groomer. Like he's a homosexual that has a proclivity towards underage people. It's very interesting. But that was the head of Conservative Clubhouse for several months. Adams killed off Jazzy? That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like when Dark Adams appears. When he shows up and he wants his pound of flesh, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I was just saying in the chat, I don't know who this Jazzy person is, but Matt, I hate that I missed the Adams and Jazzy brawl, because Adams is a beast.
Yeah, when Adams gets on a roll, it's really hard to stop that onslaught. It's all offense. It's it's pretty good.
Yeah, especially because he's sharp, he's witty, he's very quick with his comebacks.
I think the only person I got in a fight with is Angel because she thinks I fucked that. Some guy named Pontus, I think, that's probably wrong. She thinks we like met up and fuck. So she's.
Do you guys remember when Sarah Fox and Donat got together, and then he did a room talking about how she gave him an STD?
What?
Wait, doesn't that violate one of the rules of your house? Or, yeah, it does violate it in the Muff rule. Sorry, Mojo, you're going to have to put yourself in the audience.
Oh my goodness.
We'll call it mod privilege. I look, you can call me a hypocrite all you like.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to be off mute.
But I did think it was a weird thing to do, to open up a room of like, oh, I'm gonna own her, and then telling about how you're positive for an STD. Like, it's like, this is your idea of
Dude, that was great entertainment. They did so well.
I didn't even know do not like girls. I thought he was strictly dickly.
I think he's bi.
Then he would go into rooms, and he'd go to everyone in the room and back channel them. Sarah Fox gave me herpes. Sarah Fox gave me herpes. It was just fucking hilarious. Like, he wanted everyone to know that he got herpes from Sarah Fox.
Sarah Fox told me that Marshall Rankin got uninvited to, I guess, some Republican, event because he got so plastered. He crashed while riding an electric scooter at the event and broke a limb.
I heard that too.
I mean, I think that's funny,
If it's
It
true,
happens.
Not taking, joy in his misery, but just thinking like Marshall's a character, and even though I think he can be kind of obnoxious or not accurate, I think he's a fun, quirky personality to know.
I crashed a golf cart into someone's Jaguar when I was like 15.
You crashed a golf cart?
Why does Matt think everybody's coming back to the app? I don't think anybody's coming back.
What do you mean who's coming? Everyone's still here.
Well, no, there's a lot of people that are gone. I don't think the people that have been gone are coming back. Because they'll peek in and then they'll peek in and then they'll dip.
Who's gone?
A lot of people are gone. When's the last time you seen Alex New York?
Oh my god! That's who used to eat vodka with Cheerios in the morning.
To fucking
Before vodka.
make more money, then I don't really feel bad for you.
That I agree.
Like if someone
80% of all of the downloads of this app are now from India. This app is going to get completely swallowed up by Indians. In fact, an Indian company may end up buying it.
You think those are the ones that they're putting white people PTRs and putting hippie ads? If you want to make $500 or make money, they're probably not even white people.
It's a good call. Not that white people are above saying, send me money. I get that.
Right.
But do people on this app me for money, and it happens more than you fucking believe. I will always just give them links to content that they can read to help improve their situation financially. I don't give them money. I just give them resources so they can help themselves.
I just tell them to fuck off.
Some people on here are really nice, though. I know people that they will give money to people. It's not that I haven't done it; it's that I've learned my lesson to not do it.
I feel like people who give money feel guilty about their life. They're just trying to feel better.
Well, I'll tell you, I will say this: there is a small handful of people that I've gotten to know better than just like shooting the shit in a room, and you know, if they were in a pinch, I would help them. Those aren't the people typically that would ask. It's usually people that don't even fucking know you. They'll start with something like, "I've been coming to your room for years. You're so funny. I've got hard times," and I'm just like, "Oh God!" Like, I should start PTRing some of the back channels that I have. That might be a good room.
Sorry, you know what would be a fun game? If people in the room back channel you, and you would read it out loud, and we would have to guess who back channeled you, or whose message that was. That'd be fun.
That could be fun. I got a question for Matt. Cool. Where's the other Sarah? Angry Sarah? Screechy Sarah? Where's she been?
Jewish Sarah?
No, L.A. Sarah. The only one that ever knew about fires, and the one that loves to be a racist on this app.
Oh, okay.
Y'all were almost describing "Don't Shoot the Messenger" with the game pockets.
Oh, serendipity. I was like, what?
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you ever come in and play that with us?
God, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. We used to run rooms late into the night playing "Don't Shoot the Messenger."
I thought last night the dragging of Lou was fun, as he was defending Randy McDickerson. That was a fun room.
Yeah, we actually were. I was in Randy's room earlier, and I brought it up, and he was talking shit about you and this and that. But it was fun to like relay the message that he's getting heat, in your rooms.
Let me guess. He called me a beta.
I think so. And then he went on about how this is such a waste of effing time, F all you N words. And then his big one is, this is one of the most vulgar things. Anyways, he has a knack for saying the most vile, vulgar things you can say in a language combination.
Yeah, the comment he made to Anne was that he wanted to have sex with her 11-year-old daughter.
Who is this person? Lou what?
Oh, no, it wasn't Lou. Lou is best friends with him. Knows that all this stuff happened, but this is who he chooses to as a best friend. But Randy McDickerson is the one that told Anne Hero that he wanted to have sex with her 11-year-old daughter.
He's a Jordanian. He lives in Quebec,
How do you spell
I
his
think.
name?
Rabbi Randy McDickerson.
Or is that a rabbi?
He's one of those typical anti-Semites that used to hang out in those rooms together when they would, do all their anti-Semitic shit.
He says I never heard of this term till today, but pedophobia. Pedophobia, I guess. If you ever want to put Lou in like a state of hypnosis, just ask him about AI, and he will immediately go into an AI psychotic, tailspin.
Yeah, I had this conversation with him once, and he was like, I don't know how much you know about it. And then he just kept repeating the word alignment 1,000 times. You got to understand alignment. Do you know anything about alignment? When it comes to AI, you got to know about alignment. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, I hate when stupid people take complex things where even the smartest people on the planet are like, yeah, this AI thing could go really well or it could go really off the rails. Like the smartest people on the planet are like, yeah, who knows? It's high risk, high reward. And then you got Lou to be an expert on, AI. We're so lucky to have Lou on this end.
I tried to convince him to be my AI campaign strategist, and then eventually, after like text messages and like an hour-long conversation, he's like, "You're just gonna waste my time." I'm like, "The whole point is you're on this app all day, already wasting your time. So why not waste your time working on my campaign while you're on the app? And you only have to work on the campaign when you're using the app, because that's when you're wasting your time." And I could not convince him to do anything.
I think his fear around AI is based on the fact that he's got low knowledge, low skill, low ability, and he's reading about how AI and robotics will do jobs, and he's looking at that and he's like, well, shit, what's a dummy like me gonna do? That's what I think he's struggling with.
I'm terrified of AI.
Well, and you know what? I don't think that we should be afraid now. I think that there's potential for some shit to go wrong. So we have to be careful with it, but that's kind of the point. It's like it could be a game changer or it could be nothing. We don't even know yet. Right now, all the investments are on chatbots, AI chatbots. Like, I don't think you're going to change the world with chatbots.
I'm just like, I feel like AI, it's a good tool, of course, but every tool can be used as, for something for something bad. Like, it's just, I feel like, and I'm in sales, so I know AI will never take my job. I dare a robot to go sell some shit, so it's,
that's one of the industries, because I'm in sales as well. It's one of the industries that absolutely will have jobs taken. Not the people that are going to present and close, it won't take away from them. But all the pre-sales activity, what it's going to do is it's going to cause buyers to engage without engaging with a human being for about 90 to 95% of the sales process.
Well, yeah, we're dealing with that in my work right now, to where we have, because I'm the one that goes out and helps schedule, seniors for doctor's appointments. I help them sign up for doctors, right? So our company now invested into getting a website for like self-scheduling, right? So now these seniors gotta go on fucking line, put in their information, try to self-schedule, right? It's kind of working, but their market is senior. Seniors don't like going online and doing all that stuff. So to me, that's where I feel like AI is going to make things a little more complicated. I mean, obviously, it's a test run. Like you said, it could be nothing, or it could be something that's detrimental. But I feel like AI sometimes is just, we're losing sight of the control that we have and what we do. So I feel like it's just, it's a little scary.
Would anybody be interested in doing early morning rooms with looking at the stock market? Would that be too boring for you guys?
What, like 4 a.m., 5?
I think it could be fun because
that's the time I'm not watching.
The stuffy people used to get up and do these rooms, but they wouldn't say anything. There was no real insights, right? They would wait for something to happen and then they'd react to it.
I'm talking about before the market opens, to be able to make some predictions and then let people watch in real time if you were right about what you said was going to happen. I think that could be interesting, and people might learn something about the market. I just have to make sure we're careful about not giving stock tips per se.
You can put a disclaimer.
Yeah,
Like, we are not professionals.
yeah, we're just speculating. We're just talking shit. But I
I'm for stocks during the week. During the week, I'm actually broke. But during the week, I'm up at about almost 3:34 with my coffee and my cigarette, watching stocks. So.
I've got one particular one in mind that on Tuesday is going to dip, and I'm going to buy a bunch, and then I've already got options out on it, but it's I think it's going to blow up, but it's going to first experience a big dip. So
I always wanted to ask you this: how'd you do when the UHC CEO died? How'd you do?
I don't care.
Oh no, that was no. That so the stock plummeted. UHC stock plummeted after he died. People started selling. So that during tragic things in life change the stock every day. Airplane crashes. You know what I mean? There was a oil plant that blew up a few weeks ago. Their stock plummeted, so people started buying. The UHC, dude, I think I made about a good 8-9 off of buying those stocks and those options because they were cheap as fuck. So it's really important with stock to know the world things that are going on as well. All the tragedy and shit. 'Cause people will start selling when, tragedy strikes. It's what I've noticed.
Roger, didn't I tell you to buy Win in April?
You did.
I knew it. It's almost doubled from what it was on April 5th when everything tanked. Same with LVS.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see?
I'll give you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you ever see the video of Steve Wynn putting his elbow through like
Yeah.
like $30 million payday or something?
It wasn't exact. It was Larev, and he was giving a tour with a very famous lawyer that was visiting. And so I will tell you that they repaired the Picasso, and they ended up selling it for greater than he purchased the painting for. No harm, no foul on it.
What about how he basically banged his nail salonist and he had to pay up like $10 for that orgasm, $10 million for that orgasm?
It's a lot. I'm a real defender of his. I'm sorry. Like I just don't want to get. I'm a defender of his, and I just am careful what I say about him because it's a small town and a small community, and all our families grew up together. But his ex-wife just passed. So, but the company is building in the Emirates a very big project that's going to open in about a year and a half. But it's a stock that normally trades in a certain range, and in April when everything went down, it really was low. I just knew it. Same with LVS. And LVS, and a lot of the money is made over in Asia, also. For LVS for sure.
So,
but
Abby,
yeah.
I'll give you one. Look up CCOI. In the last 5 days, they've lost a third of the value. The analysts believe that in the next 12 months, it'll get back to its norms, which will mean it'll double from where it's at today. So 100% growth within the next 12 months is what the analysts are projecting. And even if it didn't grow to that, they pay a 9% yield dividend.
Oh,
so,
seriously, that's a great dividend.
Yeah, it's a great dividend, but it's a great dividend on a stock that analysts are saying will double in the next 12 months. So you rarely see a growth stock with a huge dividend.
What industry is it?
It's CCOI.
Yep. CCOI, in the last 5 days, it's lost a third of its value.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the room, it was a couple weeks ago, we were talking about stocks, and I got it wrong. I'm such an idiot. I kept saying Wingstop, but I meant GameStop. So I was talking about that. Remember that whole crazy thing with GameStop?
Oh, yes. When they tried to play the market,
Exactly.
That's legendary.
And I kept saying Wingstop like an idiot, which is like a really, successful restaurant chain. But GameStop is the one what was just so crazy? People were the stock went nuts then.
Because they were holding.
That's because these Reddit folks realize there's some smart people with software that look and they try to figure out things that are exploitable, and it was about the amount of available stock and the people that were shorting it. And so if you have people shorting it and you have a bunch, you can just hold. And what they realize is they can just hold. And the people that are shorting it have no choice but to buy more. And so, it was a very interesting game they played. There's not a lot of stocks that have the ability to do what that did. AMC and GameStop were very unique in that. But you should follow those groups to just find things that are gonna blow up. I was telling people earlier, there's this company called Bitfarm. It's BITF. Their earnings call is going to be on Tuesday. They're gonna likely have a bad earnings call, which is going to tank it. But there's a rumor in the market of something that I think is highly likely to happen, which if they announce that within a week or two after that loss, that's going to be huge. So BITF, don't go buy it, but just go take a look track that for the next 30 days and come back and say, hey, you were wrong about Bitfarm.
The worst thing about Bitfarm and Cogent is I've never heard of these names, prior to this conversation. I'm looking at Cogent. It's it says negative 50 million.
So here's the deal with Cogent, right? Cogent had a CEO that before the .com bubble borrows gets an investment of $500 million. Right on the eve of the .com bust. When that happened, he was able to spend all he was going to do is start a DC-based ISP, a regional ISP, and then when the internet collapsed and you had the .com bust, all of a sudden, all of the major ISPs had these distressed assets that were worth nothing. So he went and bought that shit for pennies on the dollar, betting that the internet would bounce back, and so they became a tier 1 ISP almost overnight. And if you don't know what a tier 1 ISP is, it's they don't buy bandwidth from anybody. They are the source. When you think about drinking water, where's the reservoir that the water comes from? The tier 1s are the source of where bandwidth comes from. And so Cogent's one of 5 global companies that have such a luxury.
You're right, it's down 13%.
That's just in one day. Go look at year to date. Go look at the last 5 days. It's crazy. And then go look what the analysts are still saying about where they think it'll be in 12 months.
I mean, do they have to borrow to pay out their dividend yield though? Because it shows their net income is negative 50 million, but it shows the revenue is 200 million a quarter.
I don't know where they all get the money. I know that their CEO is also has other businesses, and from time to time he will sell his stock to be able to cover things. But they just announced an aggressive $100 million stock buyback that they want to do over the next 12 months, which is why the stock buyback is giving confidence to the analysts that it's going to recover. Why would they want to buy back the stock if they don't believe it's going to go up?
Well, I mean, they can't figure out a better way to deploy that capital. But the craziest thing about dividends is it's you think it comes out of their bank account. No, it just comes right off the price of the share in your brokerage account and gets put into your account as cash or swap back in if you want to do buyback. So it's dividend yields are they're paid out in the price of the stock. It's kind of you know, I think it's amazing to have a dividend only portfolio. In my opinion, is the best way to go because it's more real.
Yep. Correct. Especially if it's
You not have the growth. I mean, I don't disagree, and so some of us live off our portfolios, but if you really want the growth stocks, they may not necessarily have those yields.
Well, I think you want to have a blend. I think there's some real estate investment trusts that I like. TWO is a good one. Pays out about 16% dividend. So when you're getting 4% a quarter, that's pretty amazing. In fact, that's probably going to outpace most growth stocks anyways, unless you just happen to get on a rocket ship. What I would also advise people to do is if you're investing in the S&P 500, continue to look at the percentage of the S&P that you have, and when you start seeing if you would have tracked Nvidia over time, you could have saw even before they became like a household name, you could see the movement that they were making in the market. And so players that that got in super early they have fuck you money now. But you can look at these things like just monitoring the S&P and seeing who the movers and shakers are. I think one of the biggest lies that in investing is buy low, sell high. The reality is you want to buy high and sell higher, because if you make a habit of buying low, you're probably buying a lot of losers.
Yeah, like last year, I literally built a portfolio on Fidelity of one stock of like 450 different companies, and over the course of a year, the number of stocks that went to zero was mind-boggling. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, the number of doubles, triples, and 10x's, it really does follow that normal distribution curve.
Do you do your own, or do you use someone?
I just do it myself, and it's amazing that you can buy and sell stocks now for $0. Like when I was young and was trading in high school, you're paying $30 a transaction with Brown and Company, and then TD Ameritrade or Data Tech or Daytech or whatever it was called. You actually had to pay for your transactions. Now it's like, holy shit, it's all free because they sell your data. And Citadel Investment, they will front load your trades. So they make, that type of data and trading data is like, you can't really win unless you're really just willing to buy and hold and try to build a portfolio that, over a great period of time. But in my opinion, to day trade, it becomes like a dopamine addiction, just like Clown House in a way. It becomes a job, and it's difficult.
I think day trading is very dangerous, and unless you have access to really good information and you've got powerful systems to place your trades very, very rapidly, I think day trading is extremely dangerous. Swing trading, though, gives you the same dopamine rush, I would say, but with far less risk.
Do you do your own, or do you use someone else?
So my individual brokerage fund that I play around with, and I do a lot of weird, risky shit, taking, just doing my own information. But my portfolio that I built throughout my career that sat in my 401k, I moved that into a management fund. And it's interesting because I have a lot more money in that, which is why I play it safe and have somebody manage it. But over the last 5 years, I've done better on my own percentage-wise. The problem is if I run into a catastrophe because I make a wrong guess, I don't have the same safeguards. Because there's a reason why you pay experts, but I would never pay an advisor. I'd only pay a fiduciary. Never hire an advisor. The advisor's not bound by law to do what's good for you. They're so they can do whatever is good for them, and a fiduciary has a responsibility to do what's right for you.
I've been really happy with who I use. I've used them since we went public, but
Are they a fiduciary?
I use Goldman. They've been great, and they got me through like
Goldman Sachs, bet on both sides, huh?
I think they're great. They got me through 09 comfortably, and I have not, I've just done well with them. They're not cheap, but a lot of trust in them. But I wouldn't be able to do it myself. Like I'd be like, because I'm better with the slot machines.
Well,
You know, like
during the pandemic, when it was highly volatile, I crushed. I crushed the advice of the market because it was so volatile that you're swinging for the fences, and nobody that's trying to be risk adverse is going to swing for the fences like that. And so during the pandemic, that was a really good time for me, where it was a really bad time for a lot of people.
I don't know what, I mean, I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what a lot of this stuff is. But I also know that I have to have
Diversity.
Well, it matters your age.
Diversity.
It matters your age, and I still have a lot of bonds, and it's just a balance at what age you are and what risk you want to have. I mean, there's a lot of components with it. I also like their product, some of their partnership deals. I mean, I think they've been profitable, but again, it's you pay for it. I don't trust myself with it. Like I think I would kind of do, as you're saying, I'd probably do well on some of the swings, but I also could have catastrophes.
Yo, I'm broke. I'm trying to figure out how to get money like you guys.
Work, study
What's the back?
really. I'm going to give you the answer, sweetie. Study really hard. Like work your ass off in school, and then get a career. But study really hard first, and that'll do it. You hear it?
Yeah, I went to school, but like,
Keep
I'm
in school.
Sometimes I'm an idiot. You know what
No,
I'm
but don't think of yourself that way. Just apply yourself in school and
Sometimes
work
I
a
am an
little
idiot.
harder.
Like,
No, you're not.
you know what I'm saying?
No, I
I'm
don't
not
think
the
you
best person in the world. Like, I can be better, but I
are.
ain't
How
the
far
best.
along in school are you?
I already know in school. I got a degree, associate degree, and I went to Arizona State, all that bullshit. But
Are you a
Still
Sun
broke.
Devil? You're a Sun
I'm
Devil.
a son of Jesus. But I would just
Yeah,
say,
you're a Sun Devil if you're at Arizona State, right?
nah, that's why I dropped out. Because I'm son of
Okay.
Jesus.
Well, go back. Study hard. It pays off. Anyway, it's interesting. Just trying to track it. You know what I'm really nervous of? Have you done any of the spats?
You mean like the spiders? Is that what you're referring to?
No thanks. Sorry, no. That wasn't very good advice. It's like, how do you do this? I'm gonna give you the greatest advice in the world. Study. That's what he's asking you for, tips that they don't have to study. Give them the goddamn raw meat. No bones.
Hey, babe, here's another piece of advice. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Do a good job at everything you do. That's no good advice.
No?
You wanted tips.
That's my tip. There's no such thing as a free lunch. How's that for a good tip?
What? Yeah, but there is such thing as handing someone a tip.
Yes, study.
Yeah, you didn't ask for a fucking.
Work hard.
You
Open
didn't
some
ask
books.
for a burger.
Get a career.
What?
Yeah, that guy's not gonna cuss at people on a stage. What a weirdo.
Alright, guys. Anyway, Arizona State's a good school, babe.
You don't go there. This guy's a troll. Tell.
I'm not a troll. Like, I really did go to university.
Yeah, but you're not a
But-
Sun Devil, because you would have known what a Sun Devil was right away.
Because I want nothing to do with the devil. Sorry, man.
See what I mean?
Sounds crazy when I say it.
I don't know what it is tonight. The weirdos are coming out.
Full moon.
So did you ever act on a stock tip someone gave you that was just like absolutely like a silly thing, and then it ended up paying off, but like I try to explain this. Happened to me. It was very young in my career, just starting to buy some to, take some savings. And I was on the beach and someone said there's this pharmaceutical company that makes a cold medicine, and they're coming out with, at the time they made Sudafed, that cold pill. So they were supposedly coming out with a pill that was going to cure the common cold, and that this is it. It's absolutely like guaranteed. They're already in the cold business, and they're going to cure the common cold. And I mean, again, I was just like the first time really buying stocks as an adult. So I bought stock in this company. I can't remember the name of the company. I think it was like British based originally. Anyway, they never came out with the cure for the common cold, but AIDS was happening around the same time, and they ended up being the company that invented AZT, which was like that first drug for AIDS. So I ended up making money in this stock, but not for the reason that the stock tip was there. So have you ever had something like that happen? Like you find some silly tip, but it works out?
Well, I got good advice. The first 2 trades I made, I hit home runs. My cousin had advised me to buy a company called InfoSpace, and the other one was Real Networks. You probably have heard of the Real Player for Real Networks. Both of these companies were ex-Microsoft guys, and my cousin worked at Microsoft and was like, hey, you should follow these guys. These things are about to go public. As soon as they went public, I bought them. You can go look at the stock history. Like, it was a pretty amazing ride. But I didn't know anything about how, like the stock market worked. I was just thinking, like, oh, shit, I'll just keep these and I'll just continue. They'll go up and I'll just make a ton of money. And then when the bubble burst, those 2 companies got hit super duper hard. I still made money, but if you look at on paper where it was at one point, it's kind of nauseating to think about, because I was very young, and those were my first 2 trades, and they were still to this day the biggest increase that I've ever seen percentage wise on anything that I've ever bought. And I just held them too long, and the market ended up doing what the market does, and I ended up losing. But that's what also tuned me into, like, I should probably learn about this stuff. So losing, when those 2 stocks lost their value, that was kind of what got me excited about learning about it.
I think the best tip is to not be too greedy. Like, as it something's going up, to sell little bits of it, and as it's going down, to buy little bits of it. And I've been very successful just being disciplined about that.
That's really disciplined, though.
It's hard. It's really hard. In fact, you were talking about the best tip. The best tip I ever had in my life was when I got to Clubhouse. The first couple of weeks at Clubhouse, I met a guy, and we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about, and we discovered that we both had the same stock. I had a little bit of it, and he had a lot of it. It was NVIDIA, and I had a little bit that I'd had for more than 10 years. And it had gone up, but it was still, I didn't have that much. And when his confidence in this stock, he said he put his whole savings into it, convinced me to, like, quadruple down, like, just to go big on it, because he put his whole life into it. And of course, it's been a
how early was that? Because I have a hard time believing that people saw the vision of NVIDIA when they were doing video cards.
Yeah, no, I bought it 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, and it was from video cards, and that's why I had it. I was in that industry. I didn't know anything about where they were going. It was just this guy who was into video games and other stuff, and yeah, and he had sold a company and put like half of his sales of what he made in that sale in NVIDIA. So, yeah, sometimes people are good. And if you want a tip, I would say, like, I'm betting on energy. I think if you're going to have AI stocks, you need energy stocks. So I have a bunch. So I have a small portfolio: Oklo, LEU, SMR. I have like a couple stocks in there, just betting on that sector that energy is going to be huge over the next 10 years.
What about, I heard someone talking about this, I thought it was interesting. All of this has to be housed in places where the energy has to be cooled
Yes, you get water.
So they were talking about someone who was in the business of insulation. They do just building insulation. That, something to the effect of that would air conditioning systems and the installation systems to keep these facilities cold. And
Abby, do you watch Shark Tank? You know who Mr. Wonderful is?
I know who he is. I don't watch the show, but I know who he is, yeah.
So that dude's got this team of people that are trying to build the largest data center in the world, like by magnitudes, in Canada. And I have no idea if that's going to be a publicly traded entity or what, but the whole reason of why they're selecting it is like energy costs are low and it's super cool anyways. And so they've got all the conditions met, and apparently this is going to be like the largest data center. It'll dwarf the things that like Netflix and Apple and these guys have. But I'm interested in seeing if that's going to be a publicly traded entity.
Interesting.
But you have, if we're going in that direction, you have to house it, you have to keep it cold, you're going to have a whole other industry around the AI industry.
Well, it's not this is specifically data centers that encompass all of what you're referring to in terms of
Abby. Yeah, but you're correct. If that's the way the world is going, you can bet on those side markets, and I think they're gonna explode. I got a Corning glass back when the iPhone was invented, because that's who made all the glass at the front. That's a tricky lateral move to make in your head. If everyone's betting on Apple to bet on their suppliers and stuff, but that's why I bet on Oklo and some of these energy companies. I think they're going to be required.
Yeah, if you see a new industry that's emerging, the ancillary companies, or the vendors to that industry, we had gaming come into jurisdictions, but the money was on the linens and the laundries that were, and the meat purveyors, and just all of the vendors around the industry.
Absolutely. Drones also. I've started really exploring drones. I think that could be a huge industry. And that's not a drone company, but again, the ancillary companies who make the chips for drones or the cameras for drones. Some of those other things. But I do think that energy is probably if I had to pick one sector outside of water, I'd say watch probably modern nuclear energy, which I hate to bet on, but I think it's gonna be big.
It's funny, someone put in the chat, are we going to build more Hoover dams? We're just thinking about...
No, we're going to build nuclear power, little miniature nuclear power plants. They're probably going to put them on the moon, and they're going to do something with that. I don't know what, but...
Well, I know that Charles really... There's a push to bring nuclear power. I wonder if they'll reopen 3 Mile Island.
Maybe. So if you want my stock chips, it's OKLO, Oklo, and LEU, which is Centrus, and SMR is the new scale. And SMR, I think they are on sale right now. By the way, every time the market goes down, that's how I think about it. It's like they're on sale. Get them while they're on sale. Oklo's on sale. Everything's on sale right now, except Nvidia and Netflix. Those are my tips.